So very often people look at certain people for um, philosophical advice or some kind of higher bit of knowledge, something that some kind of spiritual leader, etc. Very often people find someone who says something that's different, or they do something different, and they say, I'm going to use that person's advice to live my life by. Now, I don't always advise that. I think it's good to find out the information that works, try it yourself, and if it works, keep applying it. We also have to use logic. Look at what people say. Does that make sense? Very often people say things because it sounded good, but it doesn't necessarily make logical sense. So just a small component of what I've noticed, a lot of people will mention they liked the example of Terence McKenna, and he made the point of um, to cure world hunger, if everybody only had one child, and we did that for a certain amount of generations, you would end up cutting the population in half, and then again it would keep decreasing. And he said that he had that insight by asking the magic mushroom. He was taking a lot of psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms, and then he asked that whilst he was there on that high, what would cure it. Now, that's fine, that's his point, whatever. I didn't look deeply into it. But then we take the other side of someone who's different, not totally different, but just someone who I take advice from. Whenever you take the advice from Dr. Brian Clement, he is the current health authority who's promoting massively. If you follow the person, he's pushing massively, discussing what makes a difference in people's health. What he says is, if you give him all of the grains and seeds that he said if you give him all of the seeds that all developed countries throw away, because most developed countries, nearly all developed countries, are throwing massive amounts of seeds away that we can use for food. They throw them away to keep the artificially high prices that they have. So therefore, if you use that logic, basically countries are looking at it as, if we have an abundance of these seeds, we're not going to be able to sell them for a high price, so they discard a lot of them. Brian Clement says, if you give him the seeds, if every country gave him the seeds that they throw away and destroy so they can't sell them, and he therefore germinates them, he's able to create some of the healthiest food and give it to all of the people that are starving in the world, and be able to cure starvation in 3 years. That's the type of wavelength I'm on. Because I don't want to think we have to do this and then that thing for generation and generation to create some kind of change. What works now? What gets the change now? He is a clear-cut example of someone who knows how to work something now, has done the research and knows how to get quick changes. That's what we need in the fast-paced world. Very often someone will make the point of, if we did this now, in 100 years time we'll be able to do that. In 500 years time we'll be able to cure this. What's the cure now? What's the cure immediately? Almost always it's there. So are you going to take 100 years to try and get to the destination, or are we going to get it now and get it done? There's a quick example of someone who I go to for clear-cut advice, someone who's thinking bigger than just how to live a happy, healthy life and how to help your family and your friends, thinking far bigger and far broader, and more importantly, things that actually we need to put the lid on, that there's no longer any more of those problems, no more of the bullshit that's out there. Because very often it's easy to get caught up in your life and you skip all of the other stuff. Let's stay focused on what's important, and also see the other things which are more important that we're often ignoring. And if we did follow his advice, I would be very certain that we would get a complete solution to world hunger. And ultimately we'd be running the planet a whole lot better than most of the people currently are.